Walmart has pulled back 15% since its recent high. And today in this video, I'm going to walk through a signal that I am seeing with the RSI indicator. And this is kind of a strategy I like to pull out whenever there's a big time pullback. And I'm going to show you the steps that I'm taking to get in a trade here on Walmart. So let's jump into the chart. So the very first thing I noticed, well, we actually just recently got this coiled spring alert, which is a sell signal. And this actually has already hit the target. So it's this is one of a great indications that, the selling pressure has already subsided. And so if you guys are interested in this indicator, by the way, we have a great deal that we are still running. It'll be the link in the description. But so what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about this divergence. And so what divergence is essentially when an indicator says one thing and this price says another thing. So essentially what's happening here is that price is going down and then the RSI is going up. And so when you see those two combinations, that is a sign that there could potentially be a reversal in the making. So this is all the way down to the 30-minute. We can even go to the hourly and we see the same type of pattern. So the RSI is going up and then the price from that very starting point, it is going down. So we are seeing divergence here with the RSI and price action. So that is a big indication that there could be potentially a reversal in the makings. And another thing that I like to do, so I go all the way up here on the daily, and something that I noticed, let me get rid of some of these lines because they're not needed, but something that really caught my eye is that there is a trend line. So there's a trend line that starts all the way back here in April of 2025. Then again, it touched, or it actually had a bottom here. So I connected that to this bottoming area, which is November 14th. And then now we go all the way up here. And what do we see? Well, we see it touched this trend line. So there is two different things that this could possibly mean. Number one, it could mean that there could be more downside. And so, which would not be good for a potential move up. But with using a combination of different factors, like what it has just recently done, which is a big time pullback, pretty big pullback for Walmart, 15% down. So that is it's definitely due for some type of correction just with that quick of a move, and the fact that they beat earnings. There really isn't any kind of bad news that I've seen as of recently as well. But another thing I noticed here, so we got the trend line, then we actually have, so I just did a video about this support here. And so I said, okay, it potentially could bounce off support here. If not, we have another support area right here, which it did. It actually has, it's kind of holding it. It's still not doing the greatest of jobs of holding it. But today, I think if we can come and just stay around here where it is currently at, I think this could be a great time to get in to some positions here. So calls, calls, or even some shares. And so what calls would I recommend in this particular case? Well, let's go ahead over and let's look at the August 21. So the ones that I actually like and that I've been in here. So let me actually see if we are good to go. So yeah, so I like the 125s. And so I think the 125s is a potential, a good, potentially for a move to the upside here. So let me actually see here. Okay, yeah, so I'll just say, because I don't know why this is showing this, but so the price right now is $290. So very cheap for the potential return, right? So the potential return could be insane, especially if it goes back into some of these recent levels. And so this is one of the options that I think would be of interest to me. The 125s, which is again about $3, which is $300 total for that option. And so that's something that I would do. That gives you enough time. So that's 80. That is what was that? 89. What was that? 89 days away. This was 84 days away. 84 days away. and it gives you a pretty decent cushion as far as that goes. I think 125 is definitely on the table here if we could get a quick reversal. So the number one thing that I would want to see with Walmart is for obviously the bleeding to stop. So with this particular call option, it's all the way up here. So this is out of the money a little bit. But what I would like to see for it to do is for the bleeding to stop, for us to go sideways here and just ride this trend line up to eventually where we can maybe get another one of these big surges to the upside. What I would honestly like to see is something like this, and 3 or 4 days in a row of just boom, just straight momentum. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for. If this does continue to trickle down below this trend line and continue to close below it, I would not like to hold this much longer. And so, but yeah, again, we get the RSI signal. Again, to recap this, whenever the price action goes down and the RSI goes up, that is a indication where there could potentially be a reversal. So that's what I'm looking at. And also I was looking at the daily RSI. So look where we are at on the daily RSI. It is at 28. The last time the RSI had been that low, and again, we don't just focus on RSI, but the last time it's been that low, all the way back here on March 2025. And what happened? Well, we saw that big move up. Now, again, there was still another massive big surge to the downside. But again, every single stock, unless barring a complete market meltdown, I think that we could see something like this, even not even including something like that, but a nice big move to the upside pretty quickly on the chart here. So that's what we're going to be targeting on Walmart. What do you guys think? You interested? If so, let me know in the comments, and let me know if this is a trade that you would also be interested in.